pure.
Instantly distracted, so I've got to put that away. Jess, shall we transition
a little
back?
noisy. I don't want to be noisy.
Shall we transition back to the
yeah,
countdown?
let's transition back to the countdown.
All right, cool.
Awkwardly finding the scene. Okay, bye.
Ребята нервничают немножко такие. Интересно, как там маленькая гарнитура? пляшут, пляшут. Сейчас звук включить, чтобы, блин, интересно было посмотреть. Оу, куда? Сказку. Ты знаешь, так не получится сегодня сказку. Уж попозже. Поздно уже. Уф, позови маму. Давай мама сегодня с тобой посмотрит. 2 минуты, за 2 минуты мы с тобой сказку никак не посмотрим. Ну возьми сама посмотри, без меня сегодня. Придется с ребенком сказку посмотреть. Сейчас через 10 минут будет, блин.
G'day everyone and welcome to the Subnautica Below Zero Early Access live stream. Today we're going to be premiering the Below Zero cinematic trailer and launching Below Zero into early access on the Steam, Epic and Discord stores. My name's Hugh.
And my name's Jess. We're live in the Unknown Worlds office in San Francisco. We are running the live stream as hosts, but we're also developers. We're going to be pushing things live as we're doing this on camera.
So it's quite terrifying.
Yeah.
And who knows right now, we've been through our mic checks, we've been through our sound checks, and we're terrified right now that actually the audio is terrible on stream. So please let us know in the chat, and I'm sure someone behind us will let us know if something's gone horrifically wrong. But Jess, we've got all these people watching. What do you think the first thing is that they want to see?
You know, I've heard that there's a fancy new trailer.
I hear there is too. A lot of work's been put into this.
Yep.
It's a cinematic trailer for Below Zero. I think without further ado, we should play the Subnautica Below Zero cinematic trailer.
Новый трейлер.
Okay. All right,
Okay.
guys. So it happened. What we expected
did
was
it.
to happen. We're going to restart that video because it was incorrectly scaled.
Incorrectly scaled. Yay! Good start to the live stream. All right, let's try this
Так,
again.
это, короче, была пауза. Ничего не знаю. Типа с хорошим концом истории.
All right, everyone. We got there in the end.
I mean, it's not an Unknown Worlds live stream if we don't mess up something royally.
Yeah, so everybody, we are actually game developers, not live stream people. So we're glad we got there in the end. Please let us know in the chat what you think of that trailer. And
Well, Hugh, what do you think of the trailer?
I think it was pretty bloody amazing. I mean, that trailer took, I don't know how many months to create. It's certainly our most intense trailer that we've ever created. And there's been a huge build up to it, and we set it live and it was at 1440p on a 1080p stream, and the technical ones among you will understand what that means. Now, during that live stream, I was actually in the Steam store admin hitting release this app into early access.
And
on
I'm
Steam.
standing there going, Hugh, did you put it live?
Did you put it live?
Hugh, did you send all the things live? Because my job is to stand here and go, Hugh, it's ending. Hugh, the video's ending.
On Epic and Discord as well, our partners have been watching the stream and pushing it live on those stores as well. So you can actually play Below Zero now on Steam, Epic, and Discord, or, you know, a minute. I don't know how long it takes for everything to go live. And we are also on this. You can go and play it right now, but hold on a second. Hold on a second. Even if you love us, and I'm not saying you do, you might not, but even if you love us, just hold on a second. This game is not finished. It is a work in progress, and this is an early access release. So that means if you go and play the game right now, you're only going to get a small sliver of the whole experience that we want to get. How many hours of gameplay would you say are in the game at the moment, Jess?
I actually don't know the answer to that question. How many would you say?
I'd say there's 1 to 2 hours of story playtime, and there's heaps of playtime if you're just willing to explore around the world, build bases, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just like you can in the original Subnautica.
But we hope it does feel like a fresh take on the Subnautica world. You know, there's definitely new features, there's new storylines, there's a lot that we've added. We've taken what we think made Subnautica great, and we've just built on that. But, you know, now it's your turn to tell us what you think. So, you know, have a play and tell us which features in Subnautica you love.
Yeah.
And you're happy to see.
Because that's what this early access is all about. Now we're going to switch over to some gameplay right now. I'm actually going to play through just a couple of minutes at the start of the game and just show you a little bit about what it looks like. Because what we don't want to happen, we're trying to talk expectations down a little bit here. What we don't want to happen is for people to buy the game right now and go, oh, awesome, it's finished, let's get into it, and then suddenly they start playing and, oh my goodness, there's only 1 to 2 hours here. The original Subnautica was built over time, over the course of many updates, and it took years and years and years. We don't expect that Below Zero is going to take years and years and years, but it's going to take a little while. We expect around a year, maybe a little bit less if we do really well, maybe more if we, you know, if we get a lot of feedback that we need to change a lot of stuff. But this is the start of the game at the moment. As you can see, it's spoilers, so you might not want to be watching if you're getting spoilers. But we are, I'm playing through the start of Below Zero at the moment, and it's a little bit different to the start of the original game. Instead of a crash landing on an alien planet, there's already a base here. So what's going on? I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to let you discover. But this base is already here, and where are we? Are we underwater? I've got a nice bedroom. Let's go outside. It looks pretty cold out there. I hear for our American viewers, it is freezing cold in the Midwest at the moment. Well, let's see how cold it is in Subnautica Below Zero. obviously this is an Arctic game from the title, and if you look outside, we have a very cold environment. Our level designers, artists, programmers have been working very hard to put this environment together. So at the start of Subnautica Below Zero, there's a little bit going on in the starting areas. I think on the store pages we've said early access features are limited, but the starting zones are richly detailed. So here's your richly detailed starting zone. We've also got dialogue. Tom, our writer and director of all things voiceover audio, has worked very hard to get real voice actors in now for the early access release. And I believe until a couple of days ago, we actually had Jessie. You can't see her on screen right now, but Jessica was the voice actor. So I think she's a little disappointed that she's no longer...
Because he went straight to the planet.
Oh, there you go. So, alright, this is just the starting area. Now, my intention here, guys, is not to show you the entire game, so I'm actually going to stop here. I just wanted to show you a little bit of what the starting area is looking like and help you judge whether or not you want to get into early access now, or whether you're thinking, I'm going to wait a few updates, see if these Unknown Worlds peeps can pull this thing together. So, yeah, let's go back to Jess in the studio. Who's right here.
Who's literally standing right here.
And the other thing we're going to do on this stream is talk to some of our developers, our fellow developers around the world, because we're here in San Francisco, but Jess and I aren't normally actually here. We're normally in Australia or Japan or other states in the United States. So we've come to the office to run the stream, but most of the developers of Subnautica Below Zero are actually all around the world, and we're going to get in contact with one of those developers right now. You might have heard of him if you've participated in the Subnautica community. His name is Scott McDonald. He goes by the name of Braxis, and right now we are calling him, so he's probably running from the bathroom. Would you say that?
No, he's probably running from the Twitch chat.
He's probably running from the Twitch chat.
If you're in Twitch chat right now, you know that Scott is running the banhammer, so be nice.
And before Scott comes on, I actually am going to look behind me right now to Max, who is probably intensely looking at the chat saying, why are people saying there's no executable?
We have Scott on the line.
Oh, we have Scott on the line. So Scott, we were going to talk about community and such and animation, but instead, mate, do you think we should talk about the fact that apparently there's a missing executable on Steam?
Yeah, we did test this out because we're running the regular Below Zero, and we downloaded it, and the people who were given keys have actually downloaded it, so I'm not quite sure what's going on. So we are looking into the problem, but I would say if people haven't downloaded the game, try restarting Steam.
Okay, try restarting Steam. And Scott, I'm just going to talk to Max for a second here in the studio, so I'll be right back with you. Max, what's going on?
I don't know, but it seems to be on Steam side. It probably has something to do with transitioning from private to world release. I just double checked, everything looks okay. So
okay, cool.
It will sort itself out in a couple minutes.
Oh, thanks, Max. This is a great thing about running the stream from the studio, is we can get it live from the technical director of Unknown Worlds, who says it's coming. We did literally push live during the trailer screening, well, the second trailer screening. So, Scott, as you said, try restarting Steam, maybe wait a minute or two, and maybe it will appear.
Yeah, the Steam servers may be updating all at the same time, so it could just be like a trigger thing on their end.
Absolutely. All right, so Scott, we were going to chat about a bunch of other things, but first up, what did you think of the trailer?
Oh, I thought it was pretty good. I worked on that quite a lot actually, over the past maybe like 9 months now, something like that. And it was a lot of work by Real Time UK, a lot of work by Corey and myself and a bunch of other artists. But we think it's the best ever. And shout out to you on doing the particle effects of the snow at the end of the end cards.
It's the little things that matter right now.
Exactly.
And I believe right now, if I have pressed the correct buttons, the trailer is now live on YouTube, so you guys can watch there. We're also going to play it again at the end of the stream. But so 9 months of work, Scott. Are you proud of how it turned out?
Oh yeah, so proud. I mean, it was a lot of work from a lot of people, putting extra hours, but I think it's the most polished one we've ever done.
Absolutely.
And I'm so glad that we're able to have the freedom to do something like this. It's superb.
And speaking of polish, early access Below Zero on the Steam, Epic, and Discord stores. Would you call it polished, Scott?
I think early access is you mean in terms of the game?
Yeah.
Or the store?
Have we released a polished product?
I think the first hour is actually significantly polished compared to what we released originally in early access for the original Subnautica. That was very bare bones. Down, you know, you could only do a certain amount of things. There weren't as many creatures or places to go. Whereas in this, with Below Zero, we've put in a significant amount of work on polishing up to a really nice standard, I think, for the beginning of the game at least. And then as we go along further in early access, we're able to put more content in, polish up things that are maybe a bit janky, because as you play through the game, you'll notice that maybe performance isn't quite as good.
Yeah.
Things will just kind of trigger or go in weird places, or maybe the penguins are upside down for a day or two. You know, all sorts of things will happen on early access. And you guys, the players, just please let us know. You can use the same F8 feedback tool and send us bug reports, post them in Discord, and yeah, you're on the journey with us on early access, so please give us as much feedback as possible.
Absolutely. Well, Scott, thanks so much for joining us. Now, just quickly, tell us where you are in the world right now.
Right now, I'm in South Wales in the UK.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. We've got people joining us from all over the world at the moment. Scott, thank you for chatting with us, and looking forward to talking with you about how the release is going after the stream when I can breathe out. Jess and I are going to come back in the studio here, and we are going to prep for showing you some very interesting Below Zero content. It's not what you might expect to see on the Below Zero Early Access launch live stream, but back in Monterey.
Yeah, I was going to say, would I call it Below Zero content? I think I might call it Subnautica launch content. Go on, tell the story.
It's something. Well, you know, in Monterey we had a lot of plans last year to launch Subnautica Vanilla into full 1.0 release, and some of you might have remembered that live stream, and there were some issues, and we couldn't quite go through all the content that we wanted to go through.
Because we were too busy crying.
Yes, we were crying. But some of that content survives to this day, and we're actually going to play it right now for you. Let's have a look at what this is. Let's be introduced to one of the Subnautica team members.
As the only programmer on the team, I find it very important while developing to cultivate maths to maintain form. I'm starting to atrophy!
Okay. I don't know what that was, but in the meantime...
I can guess what that was.
I can guess what. I've been joined by Charlie Cleveland, who is one of the founders of Unknown Worlds, who was just in the back and he was watching the video go out in the live stream, and he's like, I'm the boss of this studio, and I'm not sure I approve of that content. What was that? Charlie, what the hell just happened?
Well, I actually didn't see most of it because of the time lag that we have with the stream, so I just got the first bit of it when you dragged me over here. So I just saw some flexing biceps.
Some flexing, yeah.
Saw some tattoos.
Who was that?
That looked like Scott T.
That looked like Scott T.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have
the
unmissable Scott T. So we're going to have a chat with Scott T in a little bit. But in the meantime, briefly, Charlie, how many times have you gone through the early access process with games?
I mean, we started doing early access before it was early access back in 2000, for Natural Selection 1. Well, it was actually NS2, but Mad Love, Natural Selection. Yeah, we did. So I remember Corey and I released a texture pack for our Half-Life mod, Natural Selection, and we just released, it was like a bunch of textures and like a Word document that described like how you could make a level for this non-existent game, and we just released that, and that was the first Natural Selection, and we just basically started rolling from there.
So that
we've been doing like this half-baked release for like 19 years?
19 years. Yeah. So there's been a few times we've been through this. How would you compare the size and scale of Subnautica Below Zero's early access release to that original Natural Selection 1 release?
Yeah. Well, the first one was like a post on Planet Half-Life. So I think there were probably like 10 people, many of which became part of the dev team. I'm looking around here, and it's looking like we have like 70 or 80,000 people watching with us right now, which is incredible.
It's the scale is a little bit different.
Yeah, I mean, people always say that like overnight success happens, it never happens overnight. This is like a really good example of that, because it just took a really long time. It's just been, every time it's just a little bit better, a little bit better. More people get excited, and we have this amazing audience who loves
Well, we hope you'll, and we hope you'll like Below Zero, because we're starting out on that adventure all over again with early access to Below Zero. And to talk more about that, I am going to get Scott T on the line. I'm going to quiz him about what that was all about.
How he got
with
those
his
biceps.
exactly, mate. Thanks for joining us live on the stream. You had to travel a long way from your desk.
Thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoy Below Zero.
All right. Charlie's going to go back to his massive, like 40-inch, huge widescreen that he's got in the background there that you might be able to see. And we are going.
We're not actually calling Scott T because it's 5 a.m. in Australia for him.
Oh, and he's decided he's not awake. He's probably awake. He's probably like in the gym getting ready to sleep. So we'll try calling him, and if he doesn't pick up, we'll just go on to calling someone else.
Okay, this is my I didn't prepare for Scott T interview face, so just give me a second.
We'll see if he picks up. He's actually in New Zealand right now, Scott T. And if I know anything about Scott T, he's probably been up all night programming, eating, and working out. The man is an absolute unit. And so while it is very early, it's not impossible that he's awake. But if he's not, we're going to give him, how long should we give him, Jess, in terms of
It says Scott T is currently in do not disturb mode. Please try calling him another time.
So we'll probably try calling Corey instead. We were going to talk to Scott T about his video. He actually filmed that with me.
Yep.
I'm not sure if there's a word for this, but at Bondi Beach in Sydney, there's a bit where you work out and you... I can't do it because I don't have muscles.
Scott T says this was not planned, and I think that's very true.
It's very accurate, He's texting us right now saying, what are you doing, guys? I'm asleep. You can't... I hope we can get him on the line, but we're going to call Corey instead for now. And so, Jess, would you mind giving Corey a call?
I will give Corey a ring.
All right. And we were filming this on the muscle bars. I guess that's what you'd call them at Bondi Beach. And Scott T said, please don't do this. Please don't do this. But we did it, and now you guys have seen it, and we'll have to make sure that ends up on YouTube somewhere for you guys to enjoy.
For your viewing pleasure.
For your absolute viewing pleasure. So I think we've got Corey coming in. We are calling him right now.
Tell us a little bit about Corey.
Who is Corey? Well, Corey is the man with the artistic vision. So that cinematic trailer that you saw, that was his vision, his storyboards, and he is the art director of Underworld. So all of the aesthetic vision you see in all of our games, it comes from this man, and we're about to bring him live onto the stream. Corey, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, we can hear you. This is fantastic. We may have had a little hiccup there, Corey, with getting Scott T on, but you have stepped into the breach. Is it early for you right now? Where are you in the world?
I am in California, so pretty close to San Francisco. I work from home in Nevada, California, so just a little bit north of San Francisco.
Sweet. So not quite as short
a
trip to the stream.
10:20 in the morning right now.
10:20. So it's not quite as short a trip to the stream as Charlie just getting out of his chair, but you are quite close. Corey, how did it feel when the trailer went live about 20 minutes ago and you saw that we'd accidentally zoomed it in? What were you thinking? Were you going to cut my head off?
No, I was just like, this is typical.
Fantastic. Jess asks if she's going to die. I don't think you're going to die. But we got there in the end. When we actually premiered it properly, what did you think? Were you happy with it? This has been a big journey, hasn't it, getting this trailer out? Were you happy with how it turned out?
Yeah, it's been months and months in the making. We've been super excited to, get it out there to the public. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into it. I think Scott mentioned earlier, but big props to Real Time UK. That's the studio that worked on it for us. They also did our Subnautica launch trailer, and they did a bang-up job on that. So we went back to them, and we really loved working with them. We said, hey, we have this idea for this teaser. I gave them some storyboards to work off of, and we collaborated together on it, and this is where we get.
Okay, sweet. And I don't know if we have access to those storyboards at the moment. We'll show a couple of those. So, Corey, the storyboards, is this where the trailer starts? Is it like a vision in your head? And was this 9 months ago you were creating these storyboards?
Yeah. God, I don't even remember the timeline now, but something along those lines. Yeah, so I just had the idea for it and sat down and put these together. And they, still continue to evolve through the process of creating the teaser. There's stuff that in the storyboards seemed like it was going to work fine, and then you actually see the footage and it's like, okay, we need to do something else here. In particular, there's the part with the hover bike, the player on the hover bike going by. which was originally just going to be kind of blasting across the screen, or like it's going by too fast, you can't really understand it. And we wanted to make it more of a moment to show off the bike and the female player model. So that was something that we spent a lot more time on, and had the bike stop in front of the camera so you could really get a view of it and then take off. So, it's things like that that really involved in the process. So it's not like it just is a one-to-one with the storyboards. There's a lot of back and forth and a lot of feedback and communication with real time during the whole process.
And Corey, when you were coming up with sort of aesthetic ideas for Subnautica Below Zero, was there any particular inspiration? Is there any particular reason you were thinking that we have the sort of aesthetic that we have now with the creatures and the cold? Any experience in life you're calling back to? Maybe you lived in a cold state at some point.
I did live in a cold state. I lived in Vermont. And then lived in Boston, which is also pretty brutal in the wintertime, which is why I'm out here in California, tired of the snow. So if I wanted, I can still drive up a couple hours north to Tahoe or someplace like that, get snow. But I don't know. There's not. I mean, we had the Arctic was a biome I think we wanted to include way back even on Subnautica, but we just, it wasn't time to add something like that to it. We had enough on our plate just to do the biomes that were in that game. So, ever since then, we've been wanting to add an Arctic biome to the game. I guess I can't really say a biome because the whole world is the Arctic at this point for Below Zero, but made up of many different biomes. But that Arctic theme felt like it would feel really fresh and distinct from the first game. So,
fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, we just went in there and looked at tons and tons of reference material of, real world Arctic areas and creatures. For the creature design, we worked for Below Zero with Alex Rees, who's he didn't work on Subnautica, but he loved the creature design from it, so he wanted to help out on Below Zero and did a fantastic job. He's the one who designed the ice worm and the penguins and all those creatures that you see in the teaser.
Brilliant. Well, speaking of all that design, Corey, we're going to now actually switch back to playing a bit more Below Zero. So thank you so much for joining us, and good luck with ingesting all the feedback we're going to be getting over today and the next few days. But Jessica, back in the studio, how is it going running the stream? Are you feeling good right now?
It's a little bit like hosting and running the stream is a bit much.
Yeah, it's hectic.
With respect to streamers, I just don't understand how one monitors things like that in the Twitch chat
and keeps it going and correctly plays Corey's big trailer.
Well, I heard that we are streaming to about 20,000 or more on Steam right now, which is amazing.
Wow! Hi everyone on Steam.
Hi everyone on Steam.
Hi everyone on YouTube. Hi everyone on Twitch.
The first time we've ever streamed to Steam and to Periscope.
Wow.
Mixer, I think.
Oh my goodness. So we're trying to work it out, and right now we're going to get into some gameplay, aren't we?
Yeah.
So, and it's actually perfect timing to bring in the gameplay, because at this very moment the sun is rising over the Arctic hills, and this is quite terrifying to me, because Below Zero has been play tested, we've been playing it, but I wonder if anyone has just sat the game down for a good 5, 10, 20 minutes and just left it running here for a whole day-night cycle. I wonder if that's going to mess anything up. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to play through the next section, and I'm going to try not to spoil too much when I do this. But I'm going to basically do what you would do at the start of the game, and this is available right now on Steam, Epic, and Discord, so you can do this. So if you're looking at this, oh my goodness. Okay. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's going to attack me. Oh my goodness, they're all looking at me. Oh my goodness. So if you do want to play this, guys, you can. You don't have to put up with these spoilers. You can go and play it yourself right now if you want. But remember, this is early access. There's not a whole heap of content after the first hour or 2 hours of Act 1, and you must not expect to finish game because you will not get it. Alright, I'm going to sprint here because I'm not sure about these things. They seem friendly, but they're also quite creepy. I'm going to see what's at the end of this canyon. Now, Subnautica Below Zero, as Corey said, we always wanted to get an Arctic biome into Subnautica. We had concept art for it, we had ideas about it, but when you're making a game, especially a big game like Subnautica, you've got to know when to stop. And we had to make some tough decisions in Subnautica, like don't do multiplayer and don't do the Arctic biome, much as we really wanted to. So Subnautica Below Zero, being a new standalone game, gives us an opportunity to explore some of the ideas that we wanted to explore in Subnautica, but that we couldn't due to the constraints of needing to actually release a product and not have it be in early access for 10 years instead of 3. So as you can see, there in Below Zero, we're starting off with a little bit of an alien theme. Perhaps if you explore the base back where I started, you might discover that you are a scientist researching stuff on an alien station, and the conversation in the background is getting really loud, so I'm not sure if you guys can hear that, but people are excited. You're a scientist researching alien ruins on planet 4546b, which is where you crash landed in the original Subnautica. And apparently I'm not allowed in here, so I'm not going to be in here. I'm going to run back out. I'm going to see if I can get a little further in the game, and then I'm probably going to stop pretty soon because I don't want to spoil everything for you guys. But notice I haven't actually ended up in the water yet. So, I wonder what I have to do to get into the water. This is all ready for you guys to discover in early access. I hope that executable issue has been resolved on Steam, and that everything is going okay. And oh no. Oh dear. I don't think I'm going to be able to get out of here.
Damn it!
I am blocked off. No! And this thing is still looking at me. It's like, hey, what you doing, dude? Are you trapped? So, this is probably a good spot for me to say, hey, you guys can go and play this right now. You know, oh, Max has just come back. Let's go back to his studio. Max, what's going on?
Well, we see a lot of people having problems on Steam. We uploaded the game for real. It's there. We think there's something wrong with Steam on the Steam side, so we've contacted Valve. Just waiting to hear back from them. Hopefully that'll be shortly.
Okay.
Maybe restarting Steam might help it.
All right.
So I'd try that. But
apparently you're a massive tease.
Yes. Oh, because people can't play this right now.
And you're just spoiling it.
I'm just spoiling it, and they can't play it. Oh, guys, I'm so sorry.
Yes, we hear you, and we're doing everything we can.
We're working to get that work as soon as possible with Valve. I mean, if Max is on it, I guarantee you there's no faster that could possibly move. So I will continue playing for a little while longer. We are planning to interview the lead of Below Zero a little later on, David Callner. But for now, I'm going to explore this nice little ice waterfall. And
there we go. Now you can explore.
Now we can explore. We're back onto the game scene and see what's going on over here. That Steam will be coming, guys. We will not rest until we are running properly on Steam. We've never attempted such a mega coordinated launch. This is what makes, so back in the original Subnautica when we launched 1.0, the game was already out. You know, it'd been in early access for, oh no, I'm hurt. We'd been in early access for so long that we were very confident on launch day that everything was going to go off. The stream, of course, did not quite go off, but this time it's kind of reversed. The stream's going okay, apart from some hitches, but we're having a couple of issues with getting the actual game running. But at least you can see that there is a real game right now. Early access does exist, and we will get it on Steam as soon as possible. Also, if you are partial to the Epic and Discord stores, we're also launching live on Epic and Discord, which is exciting because, oh no, that was my communications antenna. That's fantastic. That is just brilliant. We're launching onto 3 stores this time. So not just Steam, Discord and Epic as well, which is a new thing for us. And it's meant we've had to develop whole new build pipelines to deploy our games. In the past, we just deployed to Steam, it was done. Now we're deploying to 3 stores, which is pretty exciting. And this water seems very cold, and I'm not sure if I want to be in here. But we're going to have a go. And guys, I think that's where we may leave it for gameplay, because while we have, we've made it into the water, I'm not sure I want to keep spoiling it, because I know many of you will want to play on Steam in early access. So, guys, we're going to come back to the studio now.
Let me unmute my mic. I did see in Twitch chat that restarting Steam seems to be working. I don't know if I believe Twitch chat.
Yep, I think we fixed the problem.
Oh, fantastic.
It was actually our fault.
Oh.
It was our fault!
We misconfigured something in the back end, and because we're developers, it looked like everything was working, but so I think it should be good to go.
Okay.
All right.
Guys, please have a go now.
We've robbed them of 30 minutes of gameplay.
We've robbed you of 30 minutes of gameplay.
Nah.
But if you are getting into early access, I mean, we are so thankful because this game is not finished. And while this start section that I've just played through might look fairly polished, there are going to be bugs. It's going to be, you're going to have a particular graphics card. The game is going to just vomit all over itself. But this is the nature of early access. This is how we built Subnautica into what we hope you agree is a pretty good game.
Yeah.
And we're going to do it all over again now for Below Zero.
Yeah, so it's super important, more than ever, to tell us the problems that you have. You know, there's a way to send bugs to us in-game.
Absolutely. You can press F8 to give us feedback in-game. You can send us bug reports. You can tell us how you're feeling. You can give us a smile. You can say, this area makes me angry, because we want to hear about it. And so, yeah.
Yeah, and you can actually also track our development live. If you didn't follow along with the original Subnautica, same thing is true for this one. It's just that we're on Fabro. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Fabro instead of Trello.
Yeah.
Yeah. So head on over to unwills.com/Subnautica/Subnautica00. The links are all over the place, Facebook, Twitter, all that.
Yeah.
So don't worry about remembering that link. But there are heaps of links to ways you can follow the game. Now, Jess, we were speaking of the game being made. We're going to interview David, aren't we? So
yeah.
Do you want to get David on the line? David is the I guess you call him the lead developer. He's the leader of the Below Zero team. We're going to chat to him about the process of getting Below Zero into early access and how long he thinks the game is going to be in early access. But while we call him, let me reiterate that we have found, we think, the issue with Steam, and you should now be able to actually play Subnautica Below Zero in Steam. I don't know what the issue was, but apparently it was something we misconfigured on our end, and hell, early access launch, woo! So, yeah. Now, I can see that David's phone is ringing, and we could have him in at any moment.
Could.
But he is connecting, I believe, all the way from Melbourne in Australia.
Yes.
So, who knows? He might end up on the call. He might not. We don't know.
It's 5:30 a.m. for him.
5:30 a.m. and we're like, hey, David, come on the stream, man. It's going to be fine. Everything's going fine. We didn't, have any issues at launch. He's just woken up, so he doesn't know that everything's...
He's probably sleeping. He's probably going to wake up like an hour later with all these messages. Hey, you let us down, and also you're fired.
He is probably sleeping. But we'll see if he comes in.
We did notice that Scott T is actually awake, so we could always call Scott T
instead. All right, well, why don't we give that a go? Why don't we try calling Scott T and see if Scott T is ready. Otherwise, we might get into a little bit more gameplay before we close out the stream. But guys, Steam is working now, apparently. Let us know if that is not true. But it should be working, and if it's still not working, please try another restart. But it looks like Scott T is also not on the end of the line, so we may not be able to have the other interviews that we wanted to have. But that's okay, because we had Scott McDonald and we had Corey, so that is good. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Jess, what should we do? Should we have a little more gameplay?
David's responding. He says, I'm here.
He does say, well, David, you were about 30 seconds away from not ending up the stream, so we're now trying to call David again, and we'll see if he comes in.
Yeah.
No, all right. No, he's not coming in. So we're probably not going to be having David, everyone. Jess, why don't we switch over to some gameplay while you try to see if David's going to wake up. And I'm going to have a go at swimming through this narrow tunnel where my communication antenna has been horribly destroyed. Oh no, how will I communicate with the outside world? I'm not sure, but we'll work it out. My oxygen is dropping, and now I'm in a narrow tunnel. So this is just feeling really great. If you feel good about swimming through narrow, cold tunnels with limited oxygen on an alien planet with no breathing apparatus, then boy, have we got the game for you. Oh my goodness, we actually have a David on the line. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go to David. David, can you hear me?
Hey Hugh, hey Jessica, how's it going?
It's going pretty good. Are you awake, my man?
Oh, of course. Yeah, 5:30 a.m. is pretty normal for me.
And are you calling us from Australia?
That is correct. Yes, we have to have one team member on this continent at all times.
Fantastic. David, what is your role on the Subnautica development team?
So I'm the project lead, which kind of makes me a little bit like ship's captain, I guess. I'm trying to help us avoid running into icebergs like the executable just suddenly going missing. I don't know why that happened, but I think it's fixed now, so hopefully everybody can play the game within the next few minutes, hours, whatever. So yeah, I just try to help the team make high-level decisions, focus on the right things. I keep the roadmap, and yeah. So my job got a lot more interesting today because we're in early access, and that means we're going to be releasing every 4 to 6 weeks, hopefully. And yeah, so the community is going to let us know what we're doing well and what we're doing poorly. They're very good at that, and yeah. So everything is kind of up in the air at the moment. We're going to see how people respond, what they like, and kind of adjust our plans accordingly.
And David, how long do you think it's going to be until our first update for Below Zero in early access?
Right. So, well, we're going to do a patch update in a week. We just have some things some missing sound and and some bugs that we didn't get fixed quite in time for this release. So we're going to do a quick one. And also, I'm sure that when 10,000 people play the game this week or however many, we're going to hear about certain things that we didn't know about before. So we're going to turn around a fast patch just to kind of let people know we're on top of stuff. And then we're going to do like a big update with the new underwater vehicle called the Sea Truck in about 4 weeks. So yeah, we're getting on top of it and gonna try to turn things around pretty quick.
And for everyone watching, of course, the idea in early access is that we build the game up over time. We build it with successive updates. And David's alluded to 2 updates coming up. One that will be unusually fast, just a small one in the next week, just a couple of little things we know about. And then something called the Sea Truck coming hopefully 4 weeks after that. David, do you think that we're going to be able to pump out updates at that pace? Is that your hope, every sort of 4 weeks?
I think 6 weeks is kind of the regular plan, but we're going to see how things are going. I mean, all the plans can change. Like part of the whole deal with early access is we don't think we're so smart that we know perfectly how to make this game start to finish. That's like what's different with an early access game versus, more traditional game dev where you try to craft this perfect item, like only using the knowledge and foresight that you have on your team. Like we actually have real people playing the game telling us what they want and what they don't want, what's not working. So everything is kind of, subject to change. You can see our roadmap, like the whole schedule is online on our Favreau page. Like you can watch me work in real time, basically.
Set up a webcam, mate.
Yeah,
we want to watch you work in real time. For real.
Yeah, I could do that. The demand is there. I can just turn on the camera. But so you can see what we have planned. Like we're trying to deliver real quality value. Every 4 to 6 weeks.
And we managed to do that with Subnautica, didn't we? We got into a good rhythm, and we hope we'll get into the same rhythm with Below Zero. David, you are going to have a big job making that all happen. I'm imagining you might want to go and get a little more sleep right now. Is that right?
No, I'm ready to go, man.
You're ready to go.
Let's
You're
get back to it.
See what happened. All right. For those of you that haven't been brave enough to get into early access, you have some feedback that David is going to be looking at. Then we'll go back to Jess in the studio. So, David, thank you so much for joining us.
All right.
And good luck today with the rest of the release.
All right.
So, Jess is going to pull that right out of my ear. And we are back in the studio, guys. That is the end of our scheduled programming today, isn't it, Jessica?
We said it was going to take an hour. We thought it was going to take an hour, and came in well under, which is better than last year, which was, double the length?
Yeah, I think we ended up running to about 4.5 hours because we were everything was just great. But this stream has gone pretty well, I'd say, and a lot of that is due to the fact that you guys were there to help us with the sound checks at the start. You guys let us know in the chat that something, and this, one of the real benefits of doing this live stream style launch is that it gives us a chance to engage with you guys really intensely when we launch, and when you go, the executable is missing, we find out very, very quickly, and that is awesome. So thank you so much for being there for us. Jess, I think we're going to close out with the cinematic trailer. Is that right?
Yeah, I think we should. Charlie's like, me? Can I?
Right. Well, I'm not sure what's going on with that, but we're going to close out with the cinematic trailer. So
one more time, and this time in the correct
correct aspect ratio from the start. So thank you everyone for watching. We hope you enjoy Subnautica Below Zero if you get into it, but do not feel bad about waiting. This is an early access process, and there will be many opportunities to get into the game later on when it's more fleshed out, if that would be your preference. So, Jessica.
All right. Thanks so much.
Я так не интересно, я так не играю.